All right, guys. So, in the handout that was issued to you yesterday, we discussed the first question, and we went through the scenario yesterday, and we discussed as to how things work there. So today we have to discuss the answer for that, and until we get this sorted, I would request you to just go through the question one more time so that it will be value adding for you once we start the discussion on the answer. So this is question number 1. Battery. So guys, if I just quickly brief you about what we discussed yesterday, now this is the question. It was a pharmaceutical company. Just to quickly recap what we did yesterday. Initially, yesterday we discussed about the exam techniques, so which is one area which I will not touch again. And then we discussed the first model, which was product life cycle. And then we went through this question. Just a quick recap. It's a pharmaceutical company, and they have 3 main products. Epsilon, which is a product which is into heart disease, as you can see here. Epsilon, that's into heart disease. Then they have another product called Alpha, which is a painkiller. And then there is another product called Beta, which is into serious infections. Epsilon, this first drug, it's there for only 8 months. The Epsilon product is there for only 8 months. Alpha, which is the painkiller, that has been there 10 years ago. So we could say Alpha has been there. It's in the maturity stage of the product life cycle. And Beta, which is a serious infection drug, so that's, they say it was launched 3 months ago. And so that's about that. And on top of this, they have 3 investments that they're trying to evaluate. The 3 investments are, they're trying to go for a product redesign called Alpha 2. And then there is another investment where they try to go for a special marketing campaign, as you can see here, a special marketing campaign. A special marketing campaign for Beta. And then there is another product called Gamma, which is for HIV. So that's what they're trying to do. And that's basically the summary of what we discussed in the question. And if by chance, if it's your first day today, you can grab a copy. I guess it's outside. You can grab a copy of the questions handout. All right, that's better. That's better. So so this is the summary of what we discussed yesterday. This is the question, and let's look at the. So this is the question. This is the information. Let's look at the first requirement, guys. This is the first requirement, question number 1. It says, briefly explain how product lifecycle model can be used to analyze the current product portfolio. They have 3 products in this portfolio, and that is before the planned investment. So prior to the investment, looking at the 3 investment initiatives, what can you say about the current product portfolios? That's what they're trying to say. Right. Now, it uses the verb the verb used here is briefly explain. And now, if you carefully look at this, as you can see there, the requirement is for 10 marks. Now, the time that you would allocate to write the answer for this question should be for 10 marks. So, how much of time are you going to allocate for this depends on the mark allocation. So, 10 marks multiplied by the number of minutes you can allocate for 1 mark, and then you get the duration to which you can write this answer. Now, if you look at this requirement, it says briefly explain how the life cycle product life cycle model can be used to analyze the product portfolio. So guys, basically if you look at what we have to say is, now if you look at your answer structure should be, looking at this requirement, you will have, now if this is your page in the answer booklet, maybe a paragraph which talks about, not a paragraph, just 2 sentences which talks about the product life cycle, and then two paragraphs which talks about product life cycle, and then you come up with the 3 products, epsilon, then the next one is alpha, and then the other one is beta. These are the 3 products that they have. And on top of that, I think you could add a diagram as well. You could add the diagram and show where they are in the product life cycle. That shows your analytical skill as well. Now this is a good answer structure. Rather than, as I said yesterday, you turn to your page and you just start writing paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs, which is not according to a proper structure. Now this is a good answer structure to which you could fit in and earn all the 10 marks. Now answer writing as well as presentation plays a critical role in a subject like this. So therefore, the better your presentation is, the higher the potential for you to earn a lot of marks, and this is what I think you should go for. But guys, it's like this, you might have your own way of writing answers, but as far as it has clarity, I think it gets the job done. Alright, now let's look at what should be included. I have come up with some brief points, not detailed ones, but few brief points so that it will help you as to what you need to include here. Now this is the answer plan. It says product life cycle breaks the life of a product down into 5 phases. Yesterday we discussed about 4, which is introduction, growth, maturity and decline, but you can have the development stage as well. So there are a few products which was under the development stage. So that can be also taken into account. Balanced portfolios of products is one that has products in all stages of the life cycle. Now that is what we call as a balanced one. So you got a variety of products. These variety of products are in different stages of the life cycle and you have nothing to worry. The product which is at the maturity stage is appealing to a large volume. There is a product at the growth stage which is getting you a lot of revenue, so it's well balanced. And it overall generates sufficient profits and cash to meet the organization's objectives. This means that as one product enters decline, another emerging from the growth to replace it. So one goes, one dies, you got another one coming in. Now this is what should happen under the product life cycle model. In the past, guys, we have seen so many things happening like that. Now, for an example, if you take most of the, if you take in the photography industry, there used to be a situation where before the digital technology came into place, everything was done manually, and now everything is digital and everything is pitching with, it's going par or it's going in line with the technology. So now places like Kodak, or they're taking different measures as to how they could improve. And if you take products such as Nokia, right, the main reason for them to fail in the industry for mobile phones is just not getting adapted to the technological aspects of the smartphone era. Samsung and iPhone came up with this. Now, as you know, I think in the early 90s, and I think towards the latter part of the 90s, it was this huge phone. It was very similar to a brick, a huge phone, with a small antenna, which was very similar to a brick. And that was the model. And then after some time, Nokia comes up with this nice, cute little phone like this. I think it was similar to this in size. And that won the market. It was a success story because it worked for them. And then they were at the highest level, and it was in the growth stage during the 2000s, 2002. Everyone was buying these cute little cute little phones. And in 2007, Apple comes up with the smartphone. Not exactly the smartphone that we are using as at now, but something similar to that, which has the apps and whatever the functions that you see in the phones today. By the way, do you know that Nokia, their first product was not mobile phones? Any guess of what Nokia started their business with? Any guess with what Nokia started their business with? The correct answer wins 5,000 rupees. It's a joke. No one talks really in this. I don't know, because it's recorded or something like that. I did 2 sessions, can't remember exactly. But rarely I'd see a person. But in KC2, which corporate finance, they would discuss, because there are a few calculations, and if they have always told the candidates, if there is anything a bit skeptical, just shout out so that we could just clarify it then and there. So then it's easy. But anyway, Nokia started with toilet paper. Can you believe that? Toilet paper. I'm not lying. I know I tell a lot of lies, but this is the truth, okay? Because actually, Nokia started with toilet paper, and if you just go on Google, it says Nokia first product, it's toilet paper, and then it was a diversification strategy to come up with mobile phones, and it's a success story. Now, diversification strategies can be seen in so many places. Now, for example, if you take Cargill's is a brand which is known along with supermarkets. So that's what we know, but as every one of us know, they have this Cargill's Bank as well, so banking and likewise. So what I'm trying to say is, as long as you are up to date, it's very few products that would drop into the decline stage. The reason for Nokia to fail is because they did not adopt to the new technology, because they thought no one will buy smartphones because it was expensive at that time. And since their phones were going at a budgeted, affordable rate, they thought, no, we will be in the market. Sadly, that was not the case. And I guess the other company to stop or to exit the market or to fail is BlackBerry. In 2011, the CEO of BlackBerry resigned since he was unable to increase the top line and the bottom line, and he just gave up there. He just resigned because, as you know, the CEO's main responsibility, or I would say, the purpose of recruiting this guy is to ensure that there is an increase in the top line as well as the bottom line. And the very moment he fails, although he has performed well in the past, so he's a bit penalized on that aspect. So this is what happened to BlackBerry, and they did not adapt to the technology and same predicament that they had to go through as far as Nokia was concerned. So, not adapting to the latest technology. But I guess in the recent past, BlackBerry came up with this new phone called the BlackBerry Passport. It's exactly the passport size. But no one cares about that because everyone is wondering what's the next new phone from Samsung or Apple, isn't it? And the phones have invaded our lives in such a way, I guess, that if by chance, if you don't check your phone every 5-10 minutes, you are not normal. It has come to a level where I guess I would check my phone now. Since I'm in a lecture, I would not do that. But generally, when it's a customary thing for you to check your phone, because just to check whether what message you have got on WhatsApp or Viber or an email that you have got, a new update. You're in so many groups now. Now that's how things are moving forward, and that's, I guess, one reason. Because they were unable to adopt, Nokia goes to the decline stage, and then you're not there. So once you have a balanced product portfolio, although one dies, it doesn't matter if you have another product coming in. So that's what they're trying to say. This means that one product enters decline, another one is emerging. Now let's look at this company's product portfolio. They got 240 drugs in development. Introduction and early growth, I would say beta. Beta is the one for serious infections. So introduction or early growth. Now as I said, guys, in these questions, you don't have black or white answers. Unless it is a model or you have to write down several elements, there are no black or white answers. As far as you justify why you have written this or included this particular product under introduction or under growth, you're fine, unless as far as you justify it. As far as you justify your answer, you're okay. So there are no black or white answers. You got nothing to worry there. Early maturity, epsilon. I think it is early maturity. That's early maturity, almost end of growth. You could say end of growth. It's epsilon is the product which was there for 8 months. So early maturity or towards the latter part of growth. So you could use that type of phrases. See, early maturity, latter part of growth likewise, rather than just saying maturity or growth. So you stand a chance. And alpha, they say that it has been there for a long time and they are going to lose their patents. The company is going to lose their patents and there will be rival products. So it's almost heading towards the decline stage. And guys, if you put it in the diagram, I guess this is how it's going to look like. So development, 240 drugs, beta, epsilon. And if you can come up with charts, if you can come up with diagrams, if it is relevant to your answer, why not go for it? But in certain cases, they ask you not to draw diagrams also. Now, for example, I think in the value chain, you are not expected to draw the value chain diagram because it's just the model. But if it is a situation where you can directly apply your knowledge into that scenario, I think coming up with a diagram would help you to come up with a nice answer. Yeah. And the product this is the summary, guys. This is the summary for the 10-mark question. The product portfolio of 3C appears at the first sight to be fairly well balanced. In order to make a definitive judgment, it would be necessary to have further information about the likely success rate of the development projects and relative sales and profit cash profiles of beta, epsilon and alpha. Now, this is another point, a general point. If you are to evaluate and if you are to comment and analyze a particular scenario in a given question, if you can say, if I had this information, that information, I will be able to do a better evaluation, a better analysis that earns you a lot of marks. That shows your critical thinking. Now, if you can say, what I'm trying to say here is to mention or to identify or to interpret or to come to a point where I say this product portfolio is well balanced. What I'm trying to say is I need information about the sales. I need information about the profits. I need information about the cash position. And if I had that, I would have been able to give you a better recommendation about the portfolio of this company. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you can include it, it might not be this question. For any model that is being thrown at you, if you are to analyze, comment, or compare, evaluate, you could always say, if I had this, I would have given you a better recommendation, better evaluation, better advice. And that earns you marks also. Because as far as you demonstrate the critical thinking or the critical analysis skill, the higher the chances of you getting more marks. Rather than the opposite of that, the worst thing that you can do is dumping. Just brain dumping. What do you mean by brain dumping is just copy pasting the same thing which is in the textbook in your answer booklet, and that's not going to earn any number of marks. As I said, guys, that's important maybe for about 2 sentences. Product life cycle, it talks about, okay, fine, 2 sentences. Product life cycle is a model used in marketing to identify the lifespan of the product. It has 4 main stages, blah, 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 full stop, that's it. Then you get into business. You talk about the scenario and try to pick it from the scenario. Let's move into the next question, guys. This is question number. Question number 1 has 2 parts. We just discussed part A. Let's move into part B. Part B is evaluate the potential impact of each of the 3 investment options, alpha 2, beta and gamma, on the product portfolio of 3Z, referring to your answer to part A above. Now, how many sections do you see in this question? Now, when you get a question which is a bit of a bulky one, you have to be a bit worried. Because, guys, sometimes they might, in the marking scheme, now this is for 15 marks, no? Right? So then how does the 15 marks break down? That is not given to you, no? The 15 marks breakdown is not given to you. But you should have a rough understanding that maybe they are giving 15 marks. For example, evaluate the potential impact of each of the 3 investments of alpha 2, beta and gamma on the product portfolio of 3Z, referring to your answer in part A. All right. So 15 marks. So this I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. Evaluate the 3 investments, alpha 2. Now, what do you mean by evaluate? What's the good side of going ahead with this investment and what's the bad side? The pros and the cons. Pros and the cons. And the second one is beta. So again, the pros and the cons. And the last one is on gamma. Again, the pros and the cons. And you have to refer to your product life cycle model which you discussed in part A about having a balanced product portfolio. I'm just guessing. In allocating marks, maybe they allocated 15 marks. So 3 marks here, that's 6. So another 3, that's 12. 6 and 6, that's 12. And or maybe 2. You would have gone 2 by 2. Let's put it 2 by 2. Let's 2, 2, 2, 2. So you are looking at That's 4. 4 into 3 is 12, and maybe your reference to this, you get 3 marks. I'm just telling, I'm just trying to put some numbers and see. Now guys, you should have a rough idea as to how this might not be the case. The marking scheme would have been prepared in another way, but at least it should be closer to this. This is what they are looking for. Now just imagine if you turn to a new page and just start writing, whatever comes to your mind, sorry, the potential of you getting marks is very low, because you have to hit to the point. Evaluate is the good side and the bad side. Alpha, what's the good side of going into investing in alpha? What's the bad side of investing in alpha? What's the good side in investing in beta? What's the bad side of investing in? This is what we call as an evaluation. Now if you are not hitting to that, the chances of you earning marks is also less. 15 marks is a substantial amount, and that's going to decide a pass or a fail. So this is very critical. Whenever they give you a question which is a bit bulky, which is exceeding more than one sentence, you have to be very careful about the breakdown of the answer. And so guys, evaluation, now you understand if this is how the marks are given. So you can, your answer structure is going to be very, very simple. So your answer structure, if this is your page, you start, there is no need for you to explain product life cycle again. That is not relevant for this. It's about an evaluation, so you could skip that part. And you say alpha 2, and you underline. Now, the first paragraph talks about the benefit. You leave one line, second paragraph talks about the disadvantages. Then you start, you say beta, and then first paragraph on that, second paragraph on that, and then last one is gamma. Same story, first paragraph on the advantages, second paragraph on the disadvantages, and there you got your answer for 15 marks. So whoever who is correcting your answer knows, okay, this guy has understood the question. You're supposed to write about the 3 investments. There you go, the 3 investments. And the first paragraph talks about the good side, this is the bad side, and you are letting a very thin margin for a person to cut marks. Once you have written like this, it's very difficult to cut marks. Now, generally what we see is the candidates turning to a new page and just writing paragraphs and paragraphs. Then as I said yesterday, the examiner has to put a special effort to see what investment are you discussing about, and what area are you trying to pull out here, what point are you trying to stress, what's the advantage, what's the disadvantage. It's very messy if you write like that. So for these questions, there should be a good answer structure, and this is what I would recommend. Whenever you have to start with a new paragraph, I would say just leave one line. Just leave one line. Just leave one line like that, and then you go into the next. So guys, let's see what you should write about the 3 investments. The 3 investments can be evaluated as follows: alpha, beta, and gamma. That would be a nice opening sentence. Not that necessary as well, but however. So it says, first point, investing in, first of all, guys, can we quickly just go through about these 3 investments, because even I can't remember what the 3 investments are. It starts from here. The options are as follows. Yeah, that's where it starts. Towards the latter part of your page, the options are as follows, and then it says, directors can invest in a new version of alpha. But alpha is the painkiller. Yes. alpha is the painkiller. So the directors can invest in a new painkiller. Now guys, it's alpha 2. That means it's a product extension, not a product extension. It's a product redesign. You change, modify the product. Same product, painkiller, modified, which offers improved performance. This will also, this will allow 3C to apply for new patent for alpha 2. Getting a new patent is good. You can talk about that. If you get a new patent, you're an exclusive manufacturer of that product, and you get the rights, and no competitors can poke their hand into that market, and that's the benefit. So getting the patent, that's the benefit. You mention that, you get marks. And maintain the level of sales achieved by alpha for additional 5 years. Alpha 2 has successfully completed all its clinical trials and can be launched immediately. All right. Now, if by chance, if the bad side of this, I think is, if by chance, if the current product is saturated, it's in a saturated market, and if you redesign this, is it going to work? Or will it suffer from the disadvantage that the previous product was suffering? And it says it successfully completed its clinical trials, that's the good side, and it can be launched immediately. And so that's what they say. That's about alpha 2. Now let's move into the next one, which is about the next investment. The directors can invest in a major marketing campaign to promote the use of beta to a specialist hospital staff. Now the investment is trying to promote beta. What is beta? The serious infection. The one which is a drug for serious infection. But it's going to be promoted to a specialist hospital staff. While this investment should lead to a significant growth in sales, 3C is aware that one of the competitors are actively promoting a rival product. If you have one benefit and one disadvantage, you got the job done. Now, the bad side of the marketing campaign, focusing exclusively on a specialist hospital staff, is then it's a niche market. It's just for one category, right? What about, why can't you sell it to all the hospitals? So this is one area that you could talk as a drawback. But at the same time, that can be advantage as well if by chance, if the specialist hospitals are going to buy large volumes, since it's catered to them, it's catered at them, it's a customized product for them, so then we are going to benefit as well. But the bad side of this, again, there's another drawback, which where they say there can be a rival product. Now, if the rival product is better than our one, we are going to lose. It's going to hit, it's going to damage our market share. Last one, directors can invest. This is the last investment. Directors can invest in the final stages of in the final stages of clinical trials for gamma. Now it says it's in the final stages of clinical trials. As you can read, basically I can remember that the product has to pass the clinical trials and then only it is marketed. Now if it's in the final stage and if it doesn't pass, it's in the final stage, but it doesn't pass the clinical trials, then what happens? Then it's not going to be a substantial, it's not going to be a profitable investment for us. This is a breakthrough. That's a good breakthrough. Is we have the first move advantage. No one else is doing that. So breakthrough drug. So first move advantage, that's a benefit. Now you have one benefit, you have one, that's more than enough. Because after that what you have to do is you have to just inflate it. You take 1 point and you just inflate it. That will get your answer nicely. No, I'll just give you one example. You could start like this for gamma. Advantage. With regard to the information provided, since this drug is a breakthrough drug, the business, 3C, and the other thing is, guys, you have to always mention the name of the company. Why is that? That shows that you're case specific. Might not be the case. But if you can always quote the name of the company, that implies, that indirectly tells the examiner, look, I am always writing in relation to the scenario. I am not writing anything which is, I am not copy pasting the things which are in the textbook. I am writing in relation to the scenario. One way of showing that is writing the name of the company. Always, when you are commenting. So you could always say 3C. The name of this company is 3C, no? 3C, 3C, 3C. I mean, you should not use it all the time, but whenever necessary, you can use it, right? Now you could say, for example, with regard to the information provided, the gamma product is a breakthrough drug. Therefore, 3C has a first move advantage. As a result of this, there shouldn't be rivals, or if there are rivals, they cannot sell the product more viably as far as in comparison to how we are selling the product. Therefore, this would yield a lot of profits, since we would have the attraction of a higher customer base, since it's exclusively provided by us. And we could further expand our market share, and once we expand our market share, this would increase the top line and the bottom line and strengthen our going concern. Just one after the other, one after the other. Just start, see, one point, you are just inflating it. Other side, and then you start the second paragraph. Then you could say, however, that's a nice way to start, however, or on the contrary. So just write it down. When you're writing the disadvantage, you could use the word however, or on the contrary. That means on the other side. When we speak, we say on the other side of the coin, but when you write, you could say on the contrary. That means on the other side. On the other side, you could say this product is yet to complete the clinical trials. Hence, if by chance, if this product does not pass the clinical trials, then the entire investment would be of no use. Therefore, the organization should pay special attention in verifying whether this product would pass the clinical trials. So that's another point. Gamma is used in the treatment of HIV that offers significantly better success rates than any treatment currently available. Another advantage. So to that breakthrough drug story, you can apply this also. The team of 3C specialists managing the development of gamma is confident it can successfully complete clinical trials within 6 months. Because 6 months is a long time. If you want to talk about the bad side, you say 6 months is a long time. 6 months is to ensure whether this would pass or fail. 6 months is a long time. So that itself is a disadvantage. The team also, the good side is the management is very confident. So you could say, on a rule of thumb, the company's management is confident that this would work. Therefore, the company could, so you can relate that to that breakthrough advantage, and you build up an argument. The team of 3C specialists managing, right, okay, we discussed that. The team also believes that gamma should be sold at the lowest price possible to maximize the benefit of gamma to society. That itself was, it's a kind of a disadvantage. No, see guys, the products which has the first move advantage is generally sold at a higher price. Now, exclusive products, you don't sell it at a lower price. Exclusive products are sold at a higher price. Example, the latest example is Virgin Group. The company Virgin Group, they have come up with their latest product called, it's a spaceship. It's a spaceship. I forget the name. I just read it today. Forget the name. Virgin Galactic. That's the name. Virgin Galactic. Now this is a spaceship, guys. Now if you want to travel from London to Sri Lanka, approximately it takes about 17 hours. Richard Branson, the the founder of Virgin Group, he says, I'm just putting an example, okay? From London, let's say, to Sri Lanka, roughly about 17 to 18 hours if it's a direct flight. So Richard Branson, the founder, he wanted to see an alternative where you could travel in 2 hours quickly. But 17 hours is a long time. And then they came up with this idea of the spaceship. So you got, there are terminals and it's a spaceship. You take the passengers inside and it goes to outer space. Outer space you could travel very fast. And it's zero gravity outer space, and that's how the interior is designed. You just do a Google search once you go home. I think you'll get a better idea once you watch the pictures. Now they have come up with the pilot product. It's yet to be marketed. So it's yet to be marketed. Now this is going to be at a very, very high price if by chance, if it's launched. It's an exclusive product and it's going to be for the top layer of the society. And general citizens like you and me, we won't be able to, because we cannot afford. It's going to be for the business class. But guys, even when smartphones were introduced, it was the same perception that it's going to be only for the top tier of the society. But then it was not the case. Because once you come up with a better updated product, the value of that product goes down. So that's how it works throughout. So generally charging a lower price is a bit of a worry to the company, but they say they want to charge a lower price because they want to help the society. So you can say, as a result of that, if you want to help the society, if that's the view, then you are acting as a good corporate citizen. Then you can get government incentives, like grants or whatever it is. So that's the good side of that. Bad side is you have very thin profit margins. When you lower the price, you cut prices, it eats up on your profits. That's how it works. However, the marketing department of 3C believes that it would be possible to earn very large profits from Gamma due to the success rate and the breakthrough status. Again and again, it's the same point. So I think you get the idea. And this is what I have mentioned. So let's quickly run through this. Investing in Alpha 2 will allow 3C to reposition Alpha to the early maturity stage. As the new product has completed clinical trials, this investment is likely to be of low risk, good side. This will have positive effects on the product portfolio as will allow Alpha to continue to generate significant cash flows into the 5 years, unless a superior rival product is launched. However, the imminent launch of the generic copies of original Alpha may threaten this drug market's leading position. Now, if by chance, if you are parallelly running the Alpha product and the Alpha 2, that will have distortions. That's what we are trying to say. Now, this is for beta. An investment in marketing beta should lead to sales growth and therefore take the product from introduction stage to early maturity. However, there are two major risks. Firstly, the marketing program may not succeed and sales revenues may not be significant enough to pay back the investment. Now we have seen that. New products, huge road shows, but it doesn't yield enough money for payback to recover the initial investment. Example, Coca-Cola. I think there's a huge noise about Coca-Cola, huge advertisements, massive advertisements. But how successful Coca-Cola is in Sri Lanka, that's a question mark, isn't it? It's a bit of a question mark as to how successful this product is. So that's one risk. Risk is a kind of a disadvantage, a bad side, a negative side about this product. And although I have not included a benefit, I think that the first one, yes, first paragraph I talk about the benefit, which is about increasing sales and etc. etc. Now coming back to this Gamma, which is the product for HIV, this drug represents high risk investment. Even with investment, there is no certainty that Gamma will successfully complete its final stage of the clinical trials. I think we discussed about that. However, the returns from the breakthrough drug is likely to be very significant. It's a breakthrough, first mover advantage. You're the only one selling that. 3C may also consider the relationship between gamma and beta. Now this is like the conclusion. So this is the final conclusion, although I was unable to write it down under a conclusion. 3C may also consider the relationship between gamma and beta. If beta is not successful, the portfolio will lack an introduction stage product. If you don't have beta, you don't have a product which is under the introduction stage, thus making an investment in gamma more important. So guys, what I'm trying to say is, now you get a basic idea as to how you need to structure your answers. And what's important here is how you have a professional layout and how you bring in the points. It doesn't need to have these exact points, but a different viewpoint and a different argument, but valid points, superb points, and it makes sense, and that's going to earn you a lot of marks. It's as simple as that. So that's about the first question, and yeah, so that's the first question. The next area that I would like to touch, which is question number 2, is a marketing. It's another marketing concept. Let's try to finish the important models first, and then let's try to jump in, according to the scale. So the initial ones are the most important models that, according to my gut feeling, and I think I gave you the scheme of work as well yesterday. It's there in the first page as to what we are hoping to do in this program for a person who is joining today. And I think question number 2 is on segmentation, targeting and positioning, so which is an interesting topic to discuss. Describe the advantages of market segmentation. Describe the advantages of getting a quality stand, and describe how the production manager's suggestion could benefit BC4. So it's about quality and market segmentation. The other point which I would like to stress prior to discussing this question is, guys, that from the previous session to this session, I have added a few additional questions. I think that's why you see there are some 24 odd questions. But the thing is, I don't think I will be able to discuss all of them. But I think if you take one model, there are about 2-3 questions pitching for one model. So we'll discuss the most important one, which is easy for me to explain you the dynamics as well as the important points in constructing an answer or in going through and studying. And the remaining ones, I shall give you the answers. I'll give you a hard copy so that you could refer it at home. Now this is on segmentation, targeting and positioning. The best way to go ahead with this is, can you please take 2 minutes and read this question too, and so that once I start explaining it, you will be able to jot down some points from the scenario. So I'll give you 2 minutes to read this question too. Question 2, please read it, and then let's move into this. So please read the question. All right. Now, first of all, what is segment? First of all, let's start with the first one, segmentation. The basic meaning of segmentation, or the literal meaning of segmentation is, it could be equivalent to a term such as filtering, grouping. So filtering, grouping, spacing would be similar words to use as far as the literal meaning is concerned. Now, as you can see here, well, if you take the products that are available in the market, you see mass marketing. That means you don't have a filtering process. The product is just sold to the entire customer base without any type of segmentation, without filtering it. What would be a product that would walk in? For example, such as Siddhalepa, the product Siddhalepa in Sri Lanka. It's, there is no gender or age, or doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter what type of social status you have, doesn't matter how loyal you are. If you would use the product, because generally if you get a headache, or if there is some type of injury or whatever, you use it. So you don't need to filter that. Mass marketing is for everyone. If you take then the next one is segment marketing. That's not for everyone, it's for a specific group. Example, the revision program for the chartered accounts. If by chance, if it was for money, if it was for a prize, so it's the students who are interested who are attempting BVC would come for this program, and no point marketing to it everyone. It's just only for you. Mass marketing, let's say majority of the FMCGs are mass marketing. The FMCGs, the fast moving consumer goods, toothpaste, soap, unless it's like an exclusive one, such as Lux is generally for the ladies, and likewise. But if you just take the soap in general, it would be mass marketing. Toothpaste, there is no gender classification. There is no, it doesn't matter where you live, what social class you belong to. It's just the product which is sold in general. So now you understand what's mass marketing and what's segmented marketing. Now what we're trying to learn under this is how important it is to segment the market when you're selling the product, and what are the different ways of segmenting the product. So let's look at the first one. Geography. It depends on where you are. Now guys, if for example selling heaters, no point selling heaters in Sri Lanka, you are going to die, right? It's for a country which you have a cold climate, right? It depends on where you live, right? Countries such as Canada, in Canada, since now, if by chance, if you are selling your house, your property, the landlord is supposed to give a fridge. That's part and parcel of the deal. Heaters, and sometimes heaters, nice wooden floors, and it's because of the climate. And so heaters, a product such as that, you're going to segment that based on the geography, where the location is, climate, etc., etc. So whether it's international, national, city, that's how it is marketed. So geographical segmentation, it's about where you live. Now if you take such as let's say a coat or the jacket that you wear because if you can't bear the cold, if you are in New Area, they would sell those those checkered coats so that you would feel some heat, and something like that cannot be sold in a place such as Colombo because it's very hot. These days it's extremely hot, isn't it? So geographical segmentation, and if you want to sell ACs, you cannot sell it in New Area because it's Snow White. You get natural AC there, and it's already it's very, very cool over there, and you don't need it. It's not relevant. You sell it here where it's very, very hot. So that's geographical segmentation. Depending on where the location is, where you're trying to sell the product. I think you get the hang of that. Moving into the next one is the demographic segmentation. Now this is an interesting one. Certain products are sold depending on the age. Baby Cherami, it's for the babies, right? Gender, Fair and Lovely for the ladies, gender, and then generally Lifebuoy is for the guys, isn't it? So that's the target market. Family size and life cycle. Guys, in the recent past, I can remember I just read this report where it was an article published about Tesco. Tesco is the biggest supermarket chain in the UK. Biggest supermarket chain. I'm talking about the huge. You get lost. For example, if in Sri Lanka it's Cargill's and Kills, Tesco is the biggest supermarket chain in the UK. You just get lost once you go inside. And you got outlets all across the globe. It's a global phenomenon. But you don't see it in Sri Lanka, isn't it? You wonder why. Guys, why aren't big giants such as Tesco not opening? If by chance that's going to eat up the market share on Cargill's as well as Keels. If by chance if you're working there, no offense, but just try to picture a big company such as Tesco opening. First promotion, buy one, get 10 free. Just buy one, get 10 free. We make losses, we don't care, right? Our loss in Sri Lanka is 0.000% from our total profits or from the group profits that they don't care if they make a loss here, right? Same story is happening to Uber as well, I guess. Same story happened to Airtel, but I sense they're coping up. But this is what's going to happen. And if by chance, if it's buy one, get 10 free, Cargill's and Keels will be compelled at least to give buy one, get 5 free or get 4 free. And that's going to eat up their market share. And I think by hook or by crook, they are not letting competitors come because it's a threat according to the SWOT model, isn't it? It's a threat. New competitors, giant, big names coming is a huge threat. And when Airtel was coming to Sri Lanka, that was a massive threat for Dialog. And they even copied that first advertisement. The first advertisement of Airtel, if I'm not mistaken, is where Shah Rukh Khan comes and says, "Hi Sri Lanka" or something like that. It's a nice video. It's not like a person like me coming and saying hi. So it's Shah Rukh Khan, like the biggest star. He smiles and he says, "Hi Sri Lanka," and different graphics running here and there. It's so appealing. Dialog knew that they are coming up with an advertisement like that, and they got the local guys, Sanat Jayasuriya, Chaminda Vas, and is, "I am Sri Lanka," something like that. "I am Sri Lanka by Dialog," or something like that. It was a copy. Once they came up with the Airtel, you knew that it was a copy. And it's a threat. New big giants coming into the industry is definitely a threat. So Tesco, I'll talk about the family size. See, it's for the family. The model is for the family. I'll tell you why. They went to USA, but they were an utter failure in the USA. The loss was, I guess, some $6 billion for operating for about 4-5 years. Huge company. 6 billion loss is not a substantial amount for them because it's that huge, right? The net worth, I can't remember, but it should be a gigantic one. So they go to USA, but they fail. Reason for failing is because they were unable to identify one element, which is consumer buying behavior. Simple as that. Consumer buying behavior. How do people buy in the UK and how do people buy in the USA? In the UK, the mother, father, daughter and son, the entire family goes to the supermarket and they buy goods for about 1 or 2 weeks. Same as Sri Lanka, because we were a colony of UK, isn't it? So same as it. Even we don't buy like for a day or two. It's just for a week or 1.5, right? You don't buy, let's say about, I don't know, 100 grams of rice or something like that. You don't buy it like that, right? You buy it for a week or 2 weeks. That's how the buying behavior works. But in the US, it doesn't work like that, because it's daily consumption. That's why franchise companies such as, these fast food companies such as McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, KFC, it's very popular over there because it's for daily consumption. If you watch these TV series such as the Friends, it's just Friends, Big Bang Theory, and whatever the latest TV series, you'd see that they have this the brown paper bag, and the food items are included, and they just dine. That's how it works. So Tesco changed the brand name to Fresh and Easy, but still they failed and they had to close down. Last decision was operating in US is going to be an utter loss. Before we make further losses, let's close it down. So whether it is a family product or whether it's for another segment, income, you can talk about income, occupation based on the job that you do, your education level, right, religion, right. If you take most of these the religious products, there was this nice movie on I can't remember the actor, Amir Khan. He came up with a movie on religions, and he shows how, I can't remember exactly what that movie was, but you would see in certain temples people selling these statues. And it's a nice incident. This guy buys the statue and he talks to the statue and says, I want this, I want that. Right? That's a huge market in India, selling statues. I would see selling certain, certain commodities. Even in Sri Lanka, it's there to a certain extent. Selling a certain religious-oriented products. Is it good or bad? I don't know. They make their money, and that's part and parcel of the culture. So we have no complaints. But in India, it's a crazy place over there. India is a crazy place. I travel to India every December because we have a small consultation conference there. The good sides, the urban areas are really good, but the rural areas are very bad. I'll just give you one example, which will be very interesting for you. There's this. We went to India. It's a lot of oily food which is in India. It's very oily. The paratha, it's very oily. So I said, I go to this restaurant and I said, I want something vegetarian. So the guy comes and says, so what do you want? I said, I want something vegetarian. So no problem, sir. Best food in India, number one. I said, no problem. Just can have something, anything, but less oily. So no problem. 5 minutes, I'll get you the best. And this guy goes and he brings a chicken. I'm like, what's this? So vegetarian chicken. I'm like, are you mad? Because guys, they are influenced by do you know, the political system in the country is designed in such a way that certain parliamentarians, MPs, they try to get votes by showing them movies. Sri Lankans, we have not gone up to that level, I guess. Right? Showing movies and trying to get votes shows the level at which the education system is at, and you know how things work there. So religion, race, Tamil, Sinhala, you know, racism is a very dangerous topic to talk also, and generation. Generation, what's a classic example for that? Generation, I guess, guys, if you take radio, Gold FM is for the, you know, senior citizens. Gold FM, you get songs of Engelbert and Eric Clapton, Dire Straits, you know, the classic songs. I think in the single version of that is Run FM. It's a Gold FM and, you know, Run FM, and that's where you see Clarence Vijayawardena, Amaradeva, and, you know, songs. It's a generation gap. And then you got the modern songs, techno, and it's crazy, right? You don't know how it works. It's like banging someone's head to a wall, right? And in the single version, the single version, you got different types of FMs. Hero FM. I actually don't know what exactly it is, but definitely there is. And so generation, segmentation, nationality. It's about race. Again, it's about race, and you know, it's about they are Sri Lankan, and if you are an Indian, what country you come from. Guys, if you take nationality, if you take now in Sri Lanka, if you go to the McDonald's, you get this product called the Sini Sambal bun. Now that's because of the Sri Lankan culture, Sini Sambal bun. Can they sell Sini Sambal bun in France? They will not know what Sini Sambal is, because it's not part and parcel of their culture. It doesn't make sense. But here it makes sense, right? But if you go to France, it's a culture which is blended with alcohol. So in France, McDonald's, if I'm not mistaken, beer is available. Was it Italy? Or I think it's France. Beer is available because it's part and parcel of it's drinking beer is like drinking water. It's drinking wine in the streets, just people just drink, it's just like drinking water, you know. So in Sri Lanka, you can't do that because it's a culture, there's a cultural wall, there's a cultural wall, so it's seen as not good. It's seen as not, it's a cultural thing. So there you go, I think you get the idea as to how that works. So that's demographic, and let's move into the next area, psychographic. It's about how you think. Psychographic, how people think. I've jotted down 3 points: social class, lifestyle, and personality. I'll give you good examples for this. Social class. Guys, now you got cab services in Sri Lanka. But do you know there is a special class, a society layer in Sri Lanka? They would not like to go in a normal cab, nano cabs. It should be a premium vehicle. Toyota Prius, or you know, some premium vehicle because of the class. So if you take if you take Uber, Uber has Uber X and Uber Go. Uber X is the budget vehicle. So now if I go to Uber, it's very cheap, by the way. The Uber X is it the other way? I can't remember. But there are two products of Uber. One is the budget vehicle, 30 rupees per kilometer. And then you got the other one, I guess it's Uber Go, which is the luxury vehicles category. So people who want social class, who are minded about social class, their lifestyle, lavish lifestyle, rich lifestyle, right? Go for that. A product such as a Mont Blanc pen, Mont Blanc, a Mont Blanc pen is about lifestyle, social class, personality. A Mont Blanc would cost, I guess, about 80,000, 85,000, just a pen, right? There's this lecturer who was in our program, our MBA program. His name was, he was from the London School of Economics, LSE, which is a huge university in the UK, and his name was Mervyn Sukun, of Malaysian in origin, Mervyn Sukun, and this guy has the Mont Blanc pen, and when he wants to place the signature, he would take the pen very slowly, so that people recognize that he has a Mont Blanc because it's personalized as well, Mervyn Sukun, and otherwise if you just take it, no one knows that you have such an expensive. Just imagine if it got lost, 80,000. My God, that's a lot of money, right? People lose pens, right? People ask for pens. Can I have your pen? No, I can't. It's 80,000. Something like that. It's very expensive, isn't it? Guys, then watches. A Rolex watch would be at the range of 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs. It's for a separate class. Louis Vuitton shoes, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs LKR figures I'm talking about. Just a shoe. That's the rate. 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, that's the rate at which these products are going. Guys, even if you take commodities also, we see that for certain commodities, such as now ice cream. In Sri Lanka we have the Kargis and the Kiels, but if you take in France, it's made in France, available in the UK and so in other countries, and not seen in Sri Lanka. But there's this ice cream called Haagen-Dazs, or Haagen-Dazs ice cream. It's pronounced in different continents in different ways. Haagen-Dazs, it's a premium ice cream. I think a tub would cost in the UK about, I guess, it's about 30 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. It's about 6,000 LKR to 7,000 range. It's high quality ice cream. Sri Lanka, you could get it at Kargis, Keys, about 400, 500. That's the range. So this is the range there. And the good side about this, it's bought by the people who are, of that layer, and what I've studied about this product, Haagen-Dazs ice cream, is it's not targeted at the kids. It's for the adults. Because there is a small element of alcohol in the product. It's a small, not a lot, that you drink it and you don't go flat, but it's a small element of alcohol which is in the product, and that's why you don't see getting a kid for these advertisements. So, there you go. Social class, lifestyle, personality. Lifestyle, I think personally you got lifestyle. There's a lifestyle in Colombo as well. Guys, on Friday nights, you look at the nightclubs that we have in Sri Lanka. Let's just look at the rough figures that people spend. These are true facts. For the middle class, a place such as, let's say, Show by You or Flow by You would be for, for average. At the same time, you got Park Street Muse Curve. That's very expensive. And then on top of Flow by You, there is this, I can't remember, Silk, is it? I can't remember exactly. It's very expensive as well, right? Let's take restaurants in Sri Lanka. If you take restaurants such as, I can remember, it's in Cinnamon Grand, you got so many restaurants, and I think if you go for a meal, you're going to end up at least paying, let's say you and your family, let's say mother, father, and 2 kids, you're going to spend about at least 20,000, 25,000, and that's the rate at which these it's going at, and it's for that type, it's for that layer of the society. It's happening, and it's to a certain market segment. So I think you get the idea there. Let's move into the next area. behavioral segmentation. It's based on the behavior of the consumers. Let's look at, let's not take all the points, but let's discuss a few points. I'll just take the first one, user rate. Guys, if you take in Amazon, if you go to Amazon, if you're buying products from Amazon, eBay, have you realized that now let's say you're a person who buys books which is into now you got different types of books, hilarious or romantic, or let's say you buy books which are into romance, love and whatever it is. So if you have purchased 2 books which is into that category, and since they have your email, you would see once you log into the website, so many romance and that's type of products being showed to you. That's because they have captured your behavioral pattern and they have understood what you are interested in. Same thing happens in Facebook as well, because once you get into Facebook and you start to like certain things, let's say like certain products, and then you would see in the right side of your screen certain advertisements, and those advertisements are based on what you like. Let's say you're a cricket fan or some sports fan, and sports related products are promoted to you, because Facebook would count that. That's user rate. That's the segmentation based on the user rate. And likewise, guys, user status, loyalty, I think we could move on from there and we could discuss, but I guess we could stop at that point. So that's behavioral. That's how behavioral segmentation is done. All right. So I think we discussed about segmentation. Let's move into targeting and positioning. Targeting. So guys, now if this is the mass market, you have identified your segment, and now you take this segment, this is your segment, and then this is your market segment. Filtering this is what we call as segmentation, and this is your market segment which you will target. Now you're targeting them. So after segmentation, after you have from the entire market, after you have identified your set of customers, now you target them, and to them you try to position the product. Now what do you mean by let's say positioning the product? Let's say if this is a customer, what do you want to put into his mind regarding as far as the product is concerned? This is what we call as positioning. What do you want them to remember about this product? Now it's like this, guys. A question on segmentation, targeting or positioning, or for that matter a question on any given management related model, you will be successful only when you understand the substance of that model. If you don't understand, now for example segmentation, in my mind I don't have like a definition or anything like that. It's just a rough idea of what segment. I would say, if I am to write something about, I would say segmentation is the process of filtering your interested set of customers. That's enough. Segmentation is the process of identifying or filtering the interested set of customers who are most likely to purchase your product. That's enough. How can you do it? You got several ways. Behavioral, we discuss geography, then psychography, as well as can't remember the next one. Behavioral, geography and psychography, and there's four, I can't remember the third one. However, they've got 4 elements. And depending on that, you filter your segment. And then your promotions, the marketing campaign, advertising are targeted towards them. And then guys, let's discuss about this. Targeting is not it's not a huge thing to discuss. Let's discuss about positioning. Positioning is what you want the customer to remember about your product. What do you want? Such an example, Volvo, world's safest car, Volvo. If you get hit, you die. If you get hit by a truck, but they won't remember. World's safest car, Volvo. Why should you buy Volvo? Because it's the world's safest car. Might not be the case, but that's how they position it. That's what's in your mind. That's how they want the customer to remember the product. Ferrari, a speedy car. Why should you go for a Ferrari? For speed. BMW, the ultimate driving experience. Why should you buy BMW? It's the ultimate driving experience. That's what they say. Toyota, Lexus, luxury car. The luxury experience. So that's how positioning. What do you want them to, how do you want your customer to remember this product? This is positioning. It's very important. It's very important. I guess the chartered program, the leaflet that is given to you of this program says in the leaflet, fear gone and confidence born, or something like that. So why should you come? Because we are going to eliminate your fear and we are going to give you confidence. Might not be the case, but that's what we are trying to say. But I guess we will do that, right? So fear gone, position. That's what revision program. This is what we want to remember. I think you get the point, right? What's another example? Right? Let's take a product such as let's take a beverage such as Elephant House, and let's look at their product portfolio. Let's take their beverages, EGB, cream soda, Necto. Necto is EG. Necto is, or Portello. Portello is Coca-Cola, right? Necto is this. Soda. Let's stop there. EGB. It says EGB නැතුව කෑම එපා. What's the segment? Why should you buy the product? If you want to have a good appetite. That's how they want to remember that product. So you see the big cutouts, it says, you see a guy having a kottu and he has EGB. It's a product that you should buy if you want to have a good appetite. That's why you should buy EGB. EGB නැතුව කෑම එපා. Food City, ගෙදර යන ගමන්. When you're going home, if you want to buy something, just drop in. ගෙදර යන ගමන්. Keels, what is it? They don't have one, is it? I can't remember what keys. Do you have? Is there one? I can't remember. So, Food City, ගෙදර යන ගමන්. Dialogue your future today. Why should you buy Dialogue? Because we have the latest stuff. Your future is today. So every day the future is today. But so that's why you should buy Dialogue. EGB. So we discussed about that. Cream soda. Yawwane popiyana chamatkar is cream soda. Now guys, if you can remember this product, cream soda, I think towards, if you take some time back, about 10-15 years back, this cream soda was a product which was sold. People used to buy cream soda when they went to see a patient in a hospital or when you went to see a person who was sick. if I'm not mistaken, right? That's why you used to buy cream soda. Then the company would have thought, my goodness, if people are buying this product to see sick people, our sales depends on how much people are sick. How can we make people sick? You can't do that. It's not practical, right? Let's rebrand this. Let's turn the perception upside down. And they brought some young students from, some students from international schools, and they came up with this rebranding, a new position is it. Yawane popiyana chamatkare kriya, which means it's a youth product. Now, if you belong to the youth, why should you buy cream soda? Because if you're a young person, I see even like very old people drinking it also, but that's the reason why you should buy cream soda. It's the youth product. That's the position strategy. Necto. I wonder what that is. I can because we worked for this company, and I got the marketing, I got some marketing resources, so that's why I could remember this. We did some packages for this, for Elephant House, that's why I could remember. Necto kotanada podda edana. That's the position strategy. Necto kotanada podda edana. It's for the kids, right? So the kids would drink the necto and they put their tongue out, and it's purple color, and they're supposed to get a kick out of that, and they're happy, and that's how it works. So necto. Soda, it's the most important drink, right? That's the most important one, which is soda. And if you're on a Friday night, and if you have your friends with you, and if you want to have a drink, you should have soda. It's for the alcoholics, right? And no need to be Friday per se. Any day of the week is okay, but generally the Friday night is the day for that beverage, isn't it? So soda. So the alcoholics, you get the idea. This is positioning. Now, if by chance, if you understood segmentation, filtering, then targeting and positioning, and if you had an idea like this, you could be very successful in any question thrown at you. But if by chance, if you just memorize what was there in the textbook, guys, each and every model has the same explanation. Actually, it was created by human beings by looking at certain patterns that were available in the market. So it cannot be very far from reality. It cannot be like a hypothetical model. No, it's the models in management, marketing, HR are very, very common models which you can see, which you have so many examples. It's just that you have to understand the substance behind that. And one reason for students to be unsuccessful, or one reason for candidates to be unsuccessful at the exam, is because they really don't get the substance of this. If you understood the substance, I think it's an easy game to play. It's all about getting your language properly structured according to the layout, and then getting the correct points, and then you're in a win-win situation. All right, so that's about positioning. So what we will do now is let's go through the question, guys, and let's see what we have. Question number 2. This is the first requirement. It says, describe the advantages of segmentation to BC4. Right. Now you have to write only the good side. Describe the advantages of segmentation to BC4. How many marks? 10 marks. How can you write this? If that was your page, you come up with a shorter term, guys. This is what I would recommend you to do. This is the answer structure for me. This is what directly comes into my mind. If this was the page, just 2 sentences on what segmentation is, because that's the critical term there. Optional whether if you want to leave it out, but I think you could just say, segmentation is the process of filtering the interested customer or consumer groups who are interested in purchasing the product. That's all, not more than that. And then guys, you should not write about behavioral segmentation. That's not relevant for this, no? Segmentation has 4 different types, which is behavioral. No, it's not relevant. It's not relevant for this. You're not going to get marks for that. Describe the advantages of market segmentation to BC4. Now you have to read the scenario and see what type of benefits can we get. Now let's say one benefit was, we have to read it and see. I'm just thinking. Let's say one benefit was you can have a customized marketing mix, product, price, place, promotion. You can have a customized, targeted, specific marketing mix, the pricing, the product qualities, promotions, and the distribution channels, place. You can have a very exclusive, customized marketing mix for the segmented market. Now listen, that's the first advantage. So you come up with a nice topic for that. You could say, let's say customized marketing mix, and then you underline. It should be very short and sweet if you are to, and then you write your argument, the advantage elaborated there. This is your. Then the second one, you don't put numbers, but it's not a report. You cannot put numbers. A short topic is fine. Then the second topic. Then the third topic, and how many marks? 10 marks. Let's say you have 4. Roughly in your mind, you are assuming maybe if I write 4 advantages, I will get 2.5 for each. 2.5 into 4 is 10. So I will explain 4. So the person who marks your paper, the person who marks your paper, he turns to the answer booklet, write 2 sentences on what's market segmentation, and guys, you could say customized marketing mix for BC4. That's the name of the company. That is also good. Write in the name of the company for everything. That shows you are in line with the scenario. And so then he knows, okay, this is about how you could customize the marketing mix. Right. Okay, fine. Let's give marks for that. Out of 2.5, how good he is. And then likewise. Rather than just writing paragraphs and paragraphs. This is good answer layout. This is a good answer layout. So guys, let's move into this and let's see what we have in store. Yeah, I said develop appropriate marketing mix. Same thing. You can have your own wording. That's not a problem. As far as you get the correct point in line. Now guys, just compare how you used to write answers and how you should write answers in the future. And I am yet to receive any answers that is written by you, and I just reminded today as well. There are a lot of questions in this handout, and you could select any question which you think is comfortable for you, and I would strongly recommend you to write few answers and just hand it over to me. I will just take a few days and I'll just mark them, and I'll just give you roughly how much of marks I would award if by chance, if I was the examiner or if I was to mark your paper. And by that you could just roughly check how much you're hitting, and I would give you some comments as well. So if you have written few answers, just don't be reluctant to give it to me, just give it to me. And that was something that we did for the last batch also. That was the benefit I wanted to stress upon for the candidates who are going for the exam, for coming to the revision program, to the premises here. So that's something that you will not get if you were doing you were watching the webinar on, online. Right, develop the marketing mix. The idea of dividing a market into segments is to identify groups of, sorry, you have not read the question. What am I doing, right? I'm trying to read Question number 2. So this is the question. Let's read the question and see what it is. Question number 2 says, BC4 is a manufacturer of bedroom furniture with 4 factories in the south of the country. So bedroom furniture, that's no, it's not just furniture, but bedroom related furniture. So they're exclusively focusing on that. So that's a type of a segmentation as well, bedroom furniture, because you can have office furniture, likewise you got different types of furniture related equipment, but bedroom furniture is what they're specializing on. So that itself is a segmentation based on the product. As a result of declining company financial performance, the managing director engaged a management consultant to conduct an overall review of the BC4's activities and highlight the issues of great concern. So, in the recent past, this company has not been doing well. Financial performance have been declining, so they have not been performing well. So, they have contracted a management consultant and they have asked them, please write a report and tell us where we need to improve. Right? The management consultant's main findings are as follows. First one, no systematic quality control exists and differing operating efficiencies exist both within and between BC4's factories. There is no quality control. That's one main reason why they are not doing well. And operating efficiencies, simply it's about good procedures, getting things done quickly. It's not in a uniform, it's not at the same level. Different factories are operating at different levels. So some are good, some are bad, some are above average, some are below average. That's what they're trying to say. First point of it is no systematic quality. Yeah, that's the first point. We discussed that. Second point, there is an increasing incidence of furniture being returned, which requires replacement or rework. Now that is going to damage your brand image, no? Now guys, I don't know whether you can recall. Now, what do you call this as? Reworking. Reworking and replacement is what we call as external failure cost in quality control cost. In quality concepts, we have a topic called quality cost. You have appraisal cost, and you have different types of cost. Appraisal cost, internal failure cost, external failure. This is an external failure cost. The cost is the customer tells you there is a defect in the product. That's external failure. Now you have produced it, and before sending it to the customer, you have identified there is a defect. Then you rework or you stop the entire batch, or you don't sell the entire batch. You go send it for rework. That is internal failure cost for you. No one knows that has happened. But if the customer is telling you that there is a defect in the product, then that ruins your brand image. That would damage your potential customers, and that's going to have a bad. It's going to have a bad image, and people are going to talk about that this company is delivering products with defects. So it's an external failure cost. Now you can write those words in your answer. That shows your proficiency in the subject. There are also substantial number of items returned as part of extended guarantee arrangements. Yes. Now we say, people say 1 year guarantee, 2 year guarantee. So since you have said guarantee, and when you have defects, you will have to definitely do that. You have to rework because you have agreed. So now you have to work on coming up with a better quality product. So that's what the consultant says. Next point, currently BC4 tries to sell its full product range to all potential customers. Yes. That means mass marketing. They don't have a proper segmentation. That means whenever they advertise promotions, it's just done without segmentation, without picking or filtering your lot. Even though it is geographically difficult to fulfill obligations to customers in the north of the country, so they say, so we cannot sell to the north of the country for some reason. They have not said why, but we cannot, it's geographically impossible, no? Difficult to fulfill the obligations to customers in the north of, you can't sell it to the north. So then why do you want mass marketing? You can talk about that, no? Why is mass marketing implemented by the company if by chance, if it's not possible to sell it to the north? Then you should focus on the places where you can sell. This is where geographical segmentation is important. Now that can come as a technical term in elaborating your answer. Now I told you not to write, not to explain about this is geographic, no, that is not relevant, talking about what geographical segmentation is, but you can take it as a technical term to prove your point, right? Next point is, BC4 needs to rethink this marketing approach and should undertake careful market segmentation. Yes, that's what they're trying to say. Having considered the consultant's report, the MD has decided that BC4 will conduct a detailed exercise in market segmentation and furthermore will put into place measures to improve product quality. He thinks that obtaining certification under the International Quality Standards ISO 9000 should deliver significant benefits to BC4, even though the company has no immediate plans to sell globally. Yeah, so they are, to improve quality, they are trying to get the ISO 9000 certificate. Now guys, you should know, they will not ISO, the quality, these quality accreditations, they don't give it unless you have proper quality controls. They audit, no. Now recently they came to our company and for one entire day they audit everything. This one gentleman comes and he checks this, that, the auditing process, the delivery process, all this. Yeah. The production manager has, however, previously suggested to him that the way forward to employ dedicated quality control inspectors, the way forward is to employ dedicated quality control inspectors as part of the quality test. The production manager says, I think the best way for us to control quality is to have quality inspector. That is his suggestion. Good side of that is, if you are bringing in an inspector, that means you are expecting a defect. It's like this. Is it proactive or reactive? Are you waiting for a product to happen? Are you waiting for a defect to happen and then are you trying to identify it? Here there is a defect. Or you could be, that is reactive. You could be proactive. You can ensure that no, in our process there cannot be a situation where there will be a product with a defect. So that is proactive. Before it happens, you take proper control. I think that's what should happen. Now if you take concepts such as TQM, they have this feature saying getting quality right first. That means in the first attempt. Don't let a supervisor to detect a quality defect. Get it right first, in the first instance. So this is what they're trying to say, right? Moving forward, now let's see how they could come up with the different advantages of segmentation. First one is develop an appropriate marketing mix. The idea of dividing the marketing into segments is to identify groups of potential consumers who have similar needs and will respond to a particular marketing mix in a broadly similar ways. Unsurprisingly, the management consultant has identified this. Yes. So we are picking a point saying that the consultant is saying, okay, go for a segmentation. Segmentation will allow BC4 to concentrate on the right blend of the elements of the marketing mix that best meets the particular needs of the segment. So this is what we are trying to say. A dedicated or it's a customized type of a marketing mix. Price is also according to the segmentation and likewise. Then the second benefit, more focused promotion for BC4's products. So BC4 currently uses undifferentiated mass marketing. Now I just made that point, whereby it makes product offering to the market as a whole. This approach is inefficient in many ways because much of marketing efforts is wasted on consumers who have no interest in purchasing the products. So guys, you are just explaining the point. You are just explaining why mass marketing is not the best way to move forward. It's simple, no? But yeah, just that what you're trying to do is you're trying to pick the name of the company, and you're trying to write your answer in relation to the company, BC4. But it's actually a general point. It's very difficult because about segmentation, this question, the information that they have given is very primitive to write in relation to the scenario. So what you have to do is you use the knowledge from the textbook, and then you write it in, as you're trying your level best to write it in relation to the scenario, using the name of the company. Whatever the benefits you try to talk about the company, using the name of the product, this bedroom furniture. That's how you could relate it. Let's move into the next one. Easy analysis of customers. You get to know who are interested about this. Segmentation allows a company to gain better understanding of customer needs, wants, and other characters. A sharper focus allows personal situation and behavioral factors that the customers would, in a particular market segment, would be better understood. Now, that's the first point. This is how it's applicable to BC4. The detailed knowledge will in future allow BC4 to respond quickly to any changes in what the target customers want and need. So actually guys, if you look at this, it's a type of a brain dumping scenario done in a smarter manner. It's like writing the same thing in the textbook because you have very limited information. Now you can come across a situation like that also. They are telling you to identify the advantages of segmentation to BC4, but as far as writing a critical answer, the information is not that sufficient. Then what do you do? So then you have to write the normal information that you have in the textbook, but as you can see, writing the name of the company and showing, picking words from the scenario, you try to write it in relation to the scenario. But now if you take in the previous product life cycle question, there was ample information for us to pick. Now in this, it's very primitive. Simplified operations. BC4 currently tries to sell its product to a range to potential customers, even though it's geographically difficult to fulfill the obligation. So then it's very cumbersome, no? It's very tiring. It's a very tireless effort. You're trying to sell it to everyone when you know you can't sell it to the north. So it may be that serving these customers is unprofitable. You're running at a loss if you're trying to sell it to this. You look at your advertising cost, and if you take it region wise, no point, you're not making anything because you can't sell it to the north. Effective segmentation should lead BC4 to improve its operating efficiency and simplify what it does and avoid possible unprofitable markets. So I got several examples, but I will stop at 4. And the next area that we have to discuss is on TQM, total quality management. So before we run into the last requirement, the last 2 requirements, can you please read the last 2 requirements? It says, describe the advantages of quality standards ISO 9000 certification to BC4. Discuss briefly how the production manager's suggestion could benefit BC4 as part of an alternative quality control system. So this is about quality. So that's therefore I decided to have a few points on quality as well. So let's quickly discuss this and we could wind up the session. Now, TQM has several principles, as you can see here. Customer focus, having a customized products. Second one is first in class in quality. What do you mean by first in class in quality? Getting quality right in the first instance itself. Continuous improvement. Guys, if you take in a company such as Toyota, they have this cellular layout, and they have this layout where you have employee groups located at different places, and every 2 hours or 3 hours the employees have to gather and give their suggestions as to how they can improve the process. Continuous improvement. Competitive benchmarking. You compare yourself with the best. You compare yourself with the best. Employee empowerment and team approach. So, and last one is supplier quality. So these are the basic points that you need to understand under TQM. Employee empowerment and team approach is every department works to a common goal. Employee empowerment and team approach. I'll give you one example now. Guys, if you move into a fast food restaurant such as, let's say, Pizza Hut, from the point where you park the car, the security guard would tell you where you need to park the car, and he would smile with you. The person who opens the door greets you. Then the waiter would take you to the table and give you the menu card, and then when they keep the pizza or whatever it is, they will say the pan is hot, and that's a nice gesture. And when you are leaving after paying the bill, it says thank you sir, and come again. Now that is how they have trained people to work as a team to improve quality. Now these people, they don't talk like that at home or like that. That's because they are trained like that at home. Supplier quality, getting quality materials. Supplier quality, getting quality materials. Giving the best, using the best quality materials. If it's bread or if it's whatever the ingredients that you are using, good quality. So TQ, total quality management. So guys, the remainder, let's discuss that tomorrow. So we'll wind up for today. And there is another few quality control concepts that we will discuss, and we could jump into this. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for coming for the program. I hope to see you tomorrow. And